After almost a year of working on this project, I finally have some numbers to show. The CPU dropped by 11 to 12 degrees and the GPU dropped by 13 degrees. Anyway, I have a lot of plans for you to enjoy in the future and I'll keep you updated. Good morning, afternoon, evening or night to all of you depending on your time. It has been so long since this last video where I said I'd keep you all updated. And today's video is not that either. Today I just want to discuss why there's been no videos, what's going on with the project now, and also share some of my future plans for it. So when making the LLL Mark 1, I was at Loughborough University and I got to use some of the facilities for the project. Soon after the last testing video, my final year of bachelor's started and I postponed the project until a later semester when I thought I would have more time to work on it, or even until a later date. I was not really sure. But of course none of that mattered because in early 2020 the pandemic hit, everything went online, so I couldn't work on the project. I remember I was using the university's facilities. I don't have a home workshop. I also struggled with other issues that I won't get into too much here. The point is, due to the pandemic and personal issues, I had nothing that would justify a full video update. So it wasn't until approximately the end of 2020 when I came back to the LLL. The pandemic still meant that I couldn't do anything hands-on, but I felt that I could make some headway in terms of planning. Plus, some of the comments on here really motivated me quite a bit, so thank you for that. Although the pandemic prevented me from actually making stuff, what it did give me is time to think about the LLL and consider different perspectives. I realized that while the first iteration is a good proof of concept, it doesn't actually address some of the technical challenges associated with the concept. So the next logical step would be to focus on what is, in my opinion, the main technical challenge, which is a way for easy attachment and removal of the cooling loop. You might remember that I did try to address that issue or that challenge during the development of the first iteration. For example, I was considering using QDCs, which among other issues and uncertainties relating to them were just too large to have them always sticking out of the laptop. So as I showed in my testing video, I ended up just using a plastic ruler as a bracket for the water block. Of course, there are several issues with this method of attachment. So first, it is not easy to attach or detach. I actually had to unscrew the entire bottom cover every time to insert the ruler and then screw the bottom cover back on to apply the pressure. Second, I actually have no idea what the pressure applied onto the water block was, so perhaps that was a limiting factor of the performance of the entire cooling loop, that lack of pressure. And the final and perhaps the most important factor against using a bracket style attachment method like this is that it actually ended up bending the keyboard slightly over a couple of months of use, so it's not suitable long term. So I believe I've come up with something that would provide the ease of use I want, produce the clamping force needed, which is upwards of 100 newtons, and hopefully won't cause any damage to the laptop. I've just now started modeling the prototype for it, but here is the thing, I don't want to make it public yet. First, I want to know for sure whether it works and possibly take measures to protect it as intellectual property. Until then, there isn't much I can share, so now we come to the main and final question of the video, what is next for this channel? Given that the prototype works, I will of course show it to you all here, and afterwards we will move on with the development of the rest of the LLL. But until then, and I know I'm repeating myself, but there really isn't anything I can show, so there will be no videos until I feel that I'm ready. I won't set any deadlines this time. I feel there is not much point. I do think this is the best way for me in terms of my own health as well as the development of the project. I very much hope for your understanding and patience. Do share your thoughts in the comments, and I in turn will make a commitment to read and reply. See you in the future.